Join me on an adventure for an ex-Soviet country where I slip down some stairs and nearly get eaten alive by an ex-Soviet dog.
Jesus.
I run on a snowy path, spot some deer.
I think there's deer crossing the road up here.
Get overtaken by an OAP and explore icy villages.
Probably one of the more cooler intros I'm gonna have. Currently in the middle of Lithuania, and we're on this bad boy. Let's take it for a spin. Quad bikes are cool and all, but there's nothing quite like the feeling of going for a run. My partner's mum thinks I'm crazy for being out here, but I've seen a couple of Lithuanians out here still getting at it. I think it's about -7 for those that are interested. And this road goes on for a long goddamn time. I just put my foot in the snow to try and put my camera on there, and that's how deep my foot went in. If you've never heard of Lithuania before, Lithuania is an ex-Soviet republic. They've been independent now something like 30 years. But what it does mean is there's a lot of these Soviet buildings around, like this old Soviet style trailer in there. To Lithuanians, it's just like, how is that cool? It's just a normal building. When you come from non-Soviet country, I think there's deer crossing the road up here. There's deer, I want to say 1,000 yards that way. Oh look, they're going, they're running. They're gone. It's a white-tailed deer. Many of these houses are actually occupied throughout the winter. It can be that, oh, Jesus. Oh, that dog doesn't have an escape. Jesus, that scared me. It can be that people live in the city centre most of the summer, most of the winter, sorry. And then they have these houses in the countryside. In Russian they're called banyas. I'm not sure of the name in Lithuanian. I'll put it on the screen. So many people build their own houses in Lithuania. It's not really a thing in the UK, but there's so much land and so few people that land is fairly cheap. So people just buy and save up and build and then retire in the countryside. A piece of land like this next to a pretty quiet country road, they do have a little pond, is maybe 20,000-30,000 euros, and it's a big piece of land. And these buildings, these banyas, most of the time completely off grid. Some don't even have electricity. They're heated by log fires. Anybody for a game of basketball? And look, it's Poo Poo Street.
Welcome to a small town in Lithuania called Gargždai. Today we're going to go on a little adventure through the town and see what we can find. Now, as I walk through Gargždai on my somewhat Soviet adventure, I can't help but feel a little bit disappointed that Gargždai seems to be doing all it can to get rid of those beautiful Soviet style buildings that us Soviet hunters enjoy so much. The buildings have all these fancy covers on now. You can't see the raw Soviet-esque bricks that lay beneath. I guess what we have here is the church of Gargždai. It's pretty impressive, I must say. Sharvoyemo Kaplicha. I don't actually know what that means. Very beautiful. Clearly had a refurbed quite recently. Even the old folks can still get around. You see, unlike the UK, Lithuania does not come to a complete stop when it snows. It's actually a law that during the winter months you must have winter tyres on your car. When you've got winter tyres in your car, driving in the snow is not as bloody difficult as it is in the UK, where nobody puts winter tyres on their cars. So everyone can still drive. But here we are. We've made it to the football club. Bangor FC. I wonder if many bangers are scored here. Bangor FC. Look at that. Or Bangor FK. Alright. Now that we've seen that, let's move on. Look at these. Now I can bet these are hard to keep warm. These old wooden buildings are everywhere. I mean, look at this one. Windows covered up with wood. I don't even know if this is abandoned or not. You'll see this everywhere. These old school abandoned buildings, and then right next to it will be a beautiful new build home with everything you could want in it. Like I said, everyone builds their own homes here. Even in the cities and the towns. Down here, we've got a frozen lake, but getting down these steps is proving to be difficult. This is sketchy. Oh my good God. So many steps left to go. So much potential for catastrophe. This is the only thing telling me that I'm not about to plough into the water. Just follow the footsteps. Oh, look. They've got a rope swing here. That means in the summer, this place is probably filled with kids. Some local champion will probably climb up that tree, grab the rope swing, and they'll be flying into that water, having a blast. All right, we're gonna adventure off. Oh shit, that's how deep the snow is. That's my boot. That's a big ass boot. Trying to step very carefully because I have no idea what is beneath me. I think what we found ourselves is an old Soviet outhouse. Look at that. Aren't you impressed? Oh yes. Where else can you get this kind of quality content? We've got ourselves an old Soviet shithouse. Glorious. Absolutely glorious. Wow. Something I can tick off the old bucket list. So let's head back now into the town centre. And I'll show you around a typical neighbourhood. You know, someone asked me the other day, what's the main difference between Lithuania and the UK? I said, essentially that the health and safety BS that drives us all crazy in England just doesn't exist here. If you hurt yourself, it's your own damn fault. Get up, get on with it. Look at the size of the icicles. Here you can see this building would have once looked exactly like this building. But in an attempt to modernise and, to be fair, probably weatherproof these buildings, they now look like this. Slightly less character than this, but safer and warmer for the residents. Lithuania is slowly but surely making sure that they move away from the image of being an ex-Soviet country. And they frankly don't want anything to do with that. Soon there will be very little, if any, reminders of the past. So the time to explore is now.